Hey, digital artists, let's learn a little bit about how to do and use different selection tools. So in my agenda, it says Open Selection PSD. Now, when you click on it, it's going to take you to Google Drive, and it's going to show you a folder that is shared with you in which you can go ahead and double click, and we are going to go ahead and download this layer, this PSD. It's not just a JPEG, it is actually a Photoshop document. So when I go up into there, jumped up there, it says Selection Tool Demo. When I click on that, it opens up Photoshop for me, and now I have all these layers, okay? So I have a mall layer. If I click off the eyeball, I have a sign layer, I have a skater layer, and I think it's really important to point that out. If you do not see it, make sure you go to View, go to Window, and make sure that the layer window is open. I also have my color and properties open, and always have the applications, options, and toolbars, okay? So, I unclicked that on accident, so you'll notice how my toolbar went away. So I'm just going to click that back on, and we are ready to do some editing. Okay, so I mentioned that we are going to be working with different selection tools, and I want to make sure I can see this right away. So I'm going to click on View, Fit on Screen. Now, what I just did was I maximized my work area on my computer. Another thing I could do is I could hold Command down, and I can use the minus sign or the plus sign to zoom into areas as I'm working. Okay, so let me show you a couple things that you might already know, but I'm just going to go into detail. Okay, things that I'm hoping you already know. I'm hoping that when you see this little triangle and you hold down, you can see the different options underneath that little triangle, okay? I'm going to show you first the lasso tool. And when I go into the lasso tool, these are called the option bars, and they can show you different types of options when working with these tools. So the lasso tool allows you to click on a layer and to loop around it, and once it connects, you can see how it will come up with the dancing ants. So if I wanted to delete anything inside of it, I'm just going to click delete and it goes away. Of course, you can then go ahead and deselect by Command D, getting rid of that ants marching. Or if you didn't like it at all, you can Command Z and everything can backstep. All right, that's the lasso tool. Let me go ahead and show you a couple other tools. So I'm going to work on this little skater dude. So I'm clicking on the skater layer, and I am going to find my magnetic lasso tool. Now, I like teaching you guys about this one, and I'm going to zoom in so you can just see it better. But it's so nice because the lasso kind of decides what it wants to link onto, and it's usually based on a color or value separation. And it just makes life a little bit easier when selecting areas on your project area board. All right, there we go. For demonstration purposes, I'm just trying to go pretty quick. So I'm selecting my little skater, and I'm bringing it back to the top. So once I get to the top, I want to click return so I have everything selected. Now, if I hit delete, the guy goes away, and that's not what I want. I actually want the background to go away. So I'm going to Command Z, and I want to show you a trick. If I go to the top toolbar, go to select, and then click on inverse, it's going to actually invert it. And the way you know it was inverted was now there's this marching ants around the perimeter of the background, right? So from there, if I click delete, it got everything deleted behind him. That allows us to decide if we like it or don't like it. I do like it, and therefore I'm going to deselect the area so the ants go marching away, and now I can play around with this. My layer is still selected on skater, and so I want to point out the move tool, and this allows me to move him. And I can decide, do I want him to be skating towards me or farther back? But the higher I put him on the composition, he starts looking more like a giant. So if he's too big, I can do Command T, and I can transform his size to be more appropriate. All right, we're doing awesome. I'm going to keep on going. Let's take a look at this tree. We could do the magnetic lasso, but this is an opportunity for me to show you one other tool. It's called, I'm going to hold this down so you can see it. I want to do the object selection tool. Trust me, we're going to learn about the magic wand too, but right now, object selection. I'm going to zoom out. I'm on the tree layer, double checking, and I am going to see if this can magically select the tree. It did. Did you see that? Did you see how it selected that area? All right, again, want to get rid of the background, so how do I do that? I go to select, inverse, and now I'm going to go ahead and delete that background. So it gives me the opportunity to use my move tool, and I can also do my transform or Command T. Oh, that did the whole area. I'm actually not going to do that. Command Z, because the area is selected. I'm going to do Command D to deselect, Command T, and this allows me to make the tree larger or smaller. Figure out where you want to put it. You can be really creative with it. All right, last technique and tool I want to teach you about today is I'm going to work on the beach ball layer. I'm going to find this tool, okay? It's the, I'm going to hold it down. I want to play around with the elliptical marquee tool. So as I'm in this, if I hold shift down, it gives me a perfect circle. So I'm going to work on the upper left. I'm going to create that perfect circle. And what you'll notice is that it jumped when I lifted up my mouse. So I'm going to Command Z, and I'm going to tell you the reason for that. It is because I actually lifted up my shift button at the same time as my mouse button. So instead I'm going to release my mouse pad and then I'll release shift. Going to go to select, inverse, delete, and now I have my beach ball. You can figure out how you can even clean that up to make it tighter than what I did. Let's say I really like this beach ball and I want a bunch of beach balls. I can actually Command copy that layer, Command paste, and now I can go to my move tool and I can make it look like there's a trail of beach balls in the mall. It looks weird that they're all the same size, so I might go ahead and make some a little bit bigger or smaller, and smaller in the distance. I'm gonna hit return and then I can move it around. Anyway, have fun with this. Enjoy playing around with the different selection tools, and of course, let me know if you have any questions.